And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to the X Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin. I hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. We are coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois. Again, everybody, I hope everybody's having a tremendous day. The sun's out, it is shining, and it is a beautiful, beautiful day out there. So I hope you're getting the chance to be able to walk around, see the sights, see the city, not be freezing your ass off because I'm sick and tired of the cold myself, as I think we all are. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a show for you today. As you are, I'm sure, aware, this is the big week for us all here at X Bomb. Blow the whistle, no substitute for sports, and Combs and Fitz. We are all going to be together, ladies and gentlemen, because this Thursday, that's right, this Thursday, April 25th, at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, we are going to be going live via the stream and live in person from Dave and Buster's in Rosemont, Illinois, for our very own live show for covering the draft. That's right. We are happening at that point. We are following the entire first round of the draft. We are expecting a wonderful crowd to come pour out from the fans and friends and family and all that good stuff and everything. Please come in, get yourself some food, get yourself some drinks, have a good time, be able to join us to have the celebration of being a part of this momentous occasion here for all of us and all the hard work that we have done to be able to get to this point. So don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, you will not be let down. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some interesting moments. We've got some OGs that are going to be coming back. So please, ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for that. Again, that is this Thursday, April 25th. We are hitting the scene at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Be on the lookout here on the Twitch side and on the YouTube side. That's where we're going to be streaming this thing. We might have a third stream going on somewhere else, but be that as it may, we will let you guys and inform you guys of that. But for now, it'll be the YouTube and the Twitch. That is youtube.com/xbombsports and twitch.tv/xbombsports as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we got a full show for you today. We're going to be talking about the draft. We got NBA playoffs, and then we will answer some of your fan questions as well. And as always, guys, we thank you for sending in your questions. We appreciate it as per the usual. And if you guys want to send us any more questions or comments and things like that, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We do appreciate it. All right, let's kick this one off. So we've got the NFL draft going down, and I thought, you know what, we've kind of talked a lot about the draft at this point. We're doing a breakdown of it. We're seeing exactly how this thing's going to possibly fall out. Everybody's giving their last-minute opinions before we do this draft show on Thursday. We're going to have a lot more to talk about, not just here on this show, but also on Blow the Whistle when we do the show at 2 o'clock p.m. Today, we're going to be doing that in Blow the Whistle at twitch.tv/SportsDownShy. So be on the lookout for that, ladies and gentlemen. For Blow the Whistle, myself, Nick Johnston, David Dykstra, and Tyler Beautiball. But I thought since we've got the time now, we're going to probably look at the draft a little bit here and just give a quick breakdown of exactly what we're seeing happening by a tier list, right? So the guys that we think are going to have a good chance at being top stars, we're going to look at other guys that potentially have the chance of being some so-so. We're going to go through a list of the individuals and just kind of see who I'm looking at right now to see potential going to be hits, maybe misses, all things like that. So let's get to it, folks. For the NFL draft breakdown, we're going down this rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening. We're going to start this one off with the biggest bullseyes. These are the guys who, from my opinion, these are the ones that I think are going to rise to the occasion more than anybody else. They're going to be the ones that pull the most gravitas. They're going to have the most interesting storylines, the biggest names, all of that stuff. Everything that you're looking for as a top draft pick are going to be right there for you. And these are the four guys, at least to right now. These are just four. There's plenty more out there. But these are the four that I would say there's a certifiable shot at all of them being stars, superstars, maybe even more than that. Like, there is a good chance that these guys come out and they come out swinging big time, right? So, right off the bat, my first guy is going to be Caleb Williams, right? I am super confident in this young man. I think this guy has all the capabilities in the world of being a top quarterback. I know there's a lot of people that are reading the tea leaves trying to see exactly, well, who is this kid mentally? Who is this kid personally? All the information I'm gathering from everybody out there says that this guy is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him. He's a great human being. He's a great teammate. I haven't heard one bad thing to say about him. There's judgments coming from everywhere, left and right. I equate to a lot of the information coming out about Caleb Williams to be that of QAnon, if you will. Like, just stuff that you're seeing on the internet that people are going like, oh, do you see this? Oh, that means that he's a jerk face and all. And like, get over it, folks. He's a good quarterback. He seems like he's a good kid. Does he have some flaws? Yeah, but who's perfect? Nobody's perfect. I think Caleb Williams is going to be one of the star studs of this draft. I wouldn't say he's Patrick Mahomes. I will say this. I think he's Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Personality-wise, if he's Aaron Rodgers, is that the worst thing in the world? Well, I might not like it. But if he can throw a football 70 yards down the field and win games and get you to a playoff and maybe win a Super Bowl, I mean, wouldn't you take that for 15, 20 years? Wouldn't you take that kind of success? I would think so. But then again, I'm me and you're you, and we both have differentiating opinions. So maybe you don't like being winners. I don't know. Maybe you don't like success. This kid has not been perfect, but again, I would think you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for a guy that can get the job done, and I honestly think he's a guy that can get the job done. My next guy on the list would be Marvin Harrison Jr., okay? Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a guy who I think by most people's standards, probably the top receiver in this draft class. I would say that is still debatable because I like Malik Neighbors a lot. Maybe I'm a little biased because he's an LSU guy and I'm an LSU fan. But I think it's a 1A, 1B situation with the two of them. But I would say Marvin Harrison Jr. just looks like the surefire pick for a lot of people, I think, in particular, because he's the son of a Hall of Famer, Marvin Harrison. He is 6'4". He's got the size, the speed, the hand quality, the flexibility in his body to be able to bend and defend against pass catchers. He can challenge with some of the better guys out there. I mean, he is a spectacular player, right? There's no doubt about it. And while he hasn't done anything for the combine, he didn't do anything really for his pro day, people, I think, have seen his body work enough. And one thing I've always said is, you know, numbers are nice, but the tape talks. You know, that's always kind of been one of the things that I've been driving home for the last couple of years. Numbers are nice, but the tape talks. Well, the tape for me says that Marvin Harrison Jr. could be the best receiver for the next 10, 15 years potentially. I've got him listed as like Larry Fitzgerald as my comp. That's why I see him as. I mean, a guy who, yeah, didn't win a Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, I think the guy is talented enough to be able to take a team to the farthest points. Larry Fitzgerald did get to a Super Bowl. He almost was Super Bowl MVP if it weren't for the Steelers ending up to break it. So I like it. I like MHJ. I like Harrison Jr. I think the kid's really talented. I would say he's one of my next big star-studded guys that I think is going to up and come here. My next guy up may not be a sexy pick, but I like my big dudes up front. I like the big boys because, you know, being a fluffy guy myself, I support my fluffy men in solidarity. Joe Alt is a guy that I think is going to be a certifiable premier all-pro left tackle, maybe one of those guys that has a future in the Hall of Fame as well. This is a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., remember, has a father that played in the NFL, John Alt, who was very good. Joe is giant, 6'7", he's 320, he's got the blocking ability. He went to the premier school for the best offensive linemen in the country that are coming out right now at Notre Dame. I can't deny that. They're really good. He's a guy who was playing quarterback, converted to left tackle, and just grew. And he's been spectacular. And so because of that, he sees the game in all sorts of ways, and he understands the offense from a completely different perspective than other guys would. He's incredibly gifted with his size and his strength, his blocking ability on run, on pass. He has been a formidable opponent every single time he's gone up against the defenses that Notre Dame has faced. He's done an excellent job. I don't think you can deny that this guy, I think, is going to be a star. My comp for him, I've seen the comps for him being Mike McGlinchey, another Notre Dame tackle, which is why I think he gets that comp. I don't think he's Mike McGlinchey. I think he's better than that. I think he's the only other guy I can think to this point right now that could match Joe Thomas, Like, he's got all the equipment needed to be that top pick in the draft if he wanted to be. But because this is such a front-heavy draft for offensive players that are quarterbacks and receivers, he's going to fall down the list. He could go 5 to the Chargers. He could go to the Giants at 6. He could go most likely he'll go to the Titans at 7. But Joe Alt, I believe, is going to be one of those tackles that 10, 15 years down the line, we could be talking about him being a Hall of Famer, 15-time Pro Bowler. I don't know if the Titans are going to a Super Bowl. I don't know if they're winning a championship, but I think Joe Alt's the guy that could ultimately make a case for being that next top player up. And the last guy on my list, we might be a Chicago Bear, Rome Odunze. This kid is unbelievably talented, right? I guess I shouldn't say kid. They are men. This young man, God, just reminds me that between him and Scotty, there's just the reminder that I'm getting older. But Rome Odunze, a great talent at wide receiver. I would argue to say definitely maybe ties for the second best receiver in this draft. Maybe is the third best receiver in this draft. Everything that he does to an elite level, right? He's one of the best guys when it comes to contested catches. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's got speed. He has the skill set that is well equipped to be able to make him one of those top tier, I think, wide receivers down the line. Now, depending on where he goes and the quarterback he gets paired with, it'll make all the difference. Rome Odunze is not maybe your deep ball threat, but he can be a go-to guy, right? He does have the ability to run down the field with some speed, but I think ultimately what his best game is 5 to 10 yards within that work and the yards after the catch. I think he can become a number one wide receiver in any system. I think a lot of teams are very high on him right now. From what I've heard, there's teams like the Chargers, there's teams like the Jets, there's others out there that right now are aiming to look at Rome Odunze as a potential big-time playmaker at wide receiver that can make the big jump, the big leap, the opportunity to be that go-to guy that you can throw the ball to and he can make plays. I think Rome Odunze's got a bright future. I'm not saying a Hall of Famer, but I think this is a guy that's got a bright future in the NFL. That's why I like him as one of the biggest bullseyes. Honorable mentions before we move on from the big bullseyes as well here, folks. Some of the guys that are out there for the big bullseyes. I like Jaden Daniels. I think is going to be a certified superstar. I really like him as well. There's a lot of questions about Jared Verse, but I think Jared Verse can be a big-time superstar in this draft as well. It's another guy I would aim at, too, to look into this draft to be a surefire pick. And honestly, I mean, looking at the draft, seeing everybody that's out there, I'll say this, too. I think Brock Bowers, the tight end, is going to be a surefire pick as well. Guys that I think are just going to be – they're going to be capable. Pick them, you find them, and they're going to be successful. It's not going to be – it's going to be an easy, simple situation. You're going to solve an issue just by picking those guys and get better. That's where I see those guys at. So the next on this, I have the guys who I believe you're kind of gambling on, right? You're rolling the dice on them. These are guys that aren't necessarily going to be bad, but I don't know if you can say with a full sense of confidence that they're going to be good, right? These are 50-50 dudes. You toss a coin, heads, they're going to be talented, tails, they're going to be bust. So it could go either way. It kind of depends on maybe where they're going to go, what kind of team gets them. There's a lot riding on that stuff. But let's look into these guys. So first up for these guys for rolling the dice, I've got probably the biggest dice roller of them all, J.J. McCarthy. Local kid here from Illinois, big, strong, physical, talented. I believe he has all the skill sets to make him an NFL quarterback. The question that looms over him, though, is can his transition from the college game to the NFL, where he was in a run-first offense, can that get to the NFL all of a sudden? And then when you're telling him, hey, I know you're only throwing the ball like 20, 25, maybe 30 times in a game. We now need you to throw it 35, 40 times a game down the field, getting past really fast and really talented defenders who are going to be coming at you at Mach 5, and then are also going to be running with your receivers at Mach 5, and you have a window about maybe that big to throw the ball into and maybe get a first down, and you have to do that consistently. Can he do that? I think it's possible, but I think there's a lot of questions because We've seen the guys that have come out of those offenses, and it's been hit or miss, right? I mean, you go back to a guy like Russell Wilson. He comes out of Wisconsin that is a run-first oriented offense. He's had a Hall of Fame career. And then you go to a guy like, even though he's passed on, Dwayne Haskins, or you go to a quarterback like Justin Fields. You see those guys come out of run-first offenses, and they don't have the same kind of success. It's a lot rougher there. It's a lot rougher there. So, for me, I look at JJ. I think he has a place in the NFL. Just whether or not he's going to be Mr. Super Successful Superstar Quarterback, that all depends on the team that's going to take him or not. The next guy on my list is Michael Penix Jr. There's some in our group that are pretty high on Penix Jr. I think a lot of what depends on him is where he goes. I think if he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go to Minnesota. That's like his best chance to be the most successful quarterback he can be, right? Because JJ McCarthy, I look at and I see Jared Goff. I look at Michael Penix Jr. I look at this kid and I go, nah, I think he's probably going to be like Dak Prescott. Like, Dak does have a good arm. He's fairly accurate at times, decently mobile. But Penix Jr.'s biggest question is, can he stay healthy, right? The shoulder surgeries, 2 ACLs in both his knees, like, that's tough. That's tough. You need great protection. You need to be able to stick in the pocket, be able to make that throw. He's not going to be able to scramble out every single time and make every single throw, I would believe. So Penix Jr. needs to be in a system where he can be able to play stable, stand up, and make every throw he possibly can. He can throw it. He can do it. If he were a guy that had a better health record, I think he would easily be a top 10 pick. And he still might be. For all we know, there's a team right now that might be valuing him higher and might take him higher. It's just really hard to sell me on that when you look at his body of work and his injuries and you say, okay, well, I don't know if this guy can withstand the punishment. And we'll see. But right now, he's kind of on that list for me at this point in time. All right. Next on our list, we have Olu Fashanu. Now, this is one of those guys that when he started, he was easily, without a doubt in my mind, one of the best tackles in the draft, I believed. Now going into this, I'm looking at him and I'm going, okay, he might fall into the teens and the 20s maybe of this draft. I had the Steelers going up in the draft to pick this guy. Now I think the Steelers can stay at 20 and still maybe get him. He's good. He's talented. It's just his pass blocking was not always at its best. His run blocking was certainly dominant. But you need an all-around solid tackle for those Pittsburgh Steelers because now you have a quarterback that can throw it in Russell Wilson. You have a guy that can be able to run the ball in Najee Harris. So you run the ball nicely, but you got to protect your quarterback who's older and needs to be able to throw the ball. Olu Fashanu has a place in the NFL somewhere. It's just a matter of what offensive line is going to be there to help anchor and support him because I don't know if he's going to anchor and support the offensive line. But again, it's a 50-50 with him. And the last guy on this list, I'm going to say is Cooper DeJean, right? This guy, I think, is going to be one of the biggest enigmas in the draft. Not because he's a white dude that plays cornerback and safety and all that stuff. No, it's because of where he will play. Right? Does he play corner? Can he play the nickel? Is he going to be the outside guy that takes one-on-one, man-on-man with the top receiver? Or is he a safety that sits over the top? Also, he's coming off of a major injury as well, off of his final college career that kind of ended it early. He can make plays. He's a ball hawk. He can tackle guys. I just don't know if Cooper DeJean's going to be that premier safety that's going to be a Pro Bowler all the time. My comp for him is going to be like Harrison Smith from the Vikings. Decent, solid, not always at his best, maybe at times, got injured few times here and there, but seemed to always be a playmaker. Cooper DeJean, I think, is going to be a guy that's just going to be a bit of a shocker for the NFL. We're going to see exactly where he lands at in the draft. It's going to be an interesting telltale for him because ultimately it's going to come down to, I think, system for him and where that team thinks he can play best. Is he a corner? Is he a safety? That's going to be up for the debate there. Other guys I think you're going to have to roll the dice on a little bit. We don't have them pictured or anything, but Drake May I think is going to be one of those guys. Dallas Turner, Leatu Latu could be guys as well that you have to roll the dice on. There's a lot of guys that I think, you could say all these guys are 50-50, but these are guys that I think purely on their status, they're 50-50 dudes. And we'll do these fairly quickly, fairly quickly if we can. These are the don't sleep on them guys, right? There's always sleepers in the draft, and some of these guys aren't necessarily sleepers because I think they're talented enough. But these are guys that I don't think that you should be looking down on for any situation at all because they can all be playmakers in their own right for the teams on offense and on defense. So I would look for them wherever they go in the draft. They're going to be guys that eventually step up in some way, shape, or form, right? First on my list, A.D. Mitchell. 8-9 Mitchell from Texas, was at Georgia, helped them win a national championship, went to Texas, became a big-time playmaker at wide receiver for that team. I like A.D. Mitchell a lot. I think his comp is going to be like, I don't even know if there is a comp for him, honestly, because he's such a rarity. I've heard a lot of different things. There's a lot of people that are speculating how he's going to play out. He's a little skinny, yeah, but he's fast, he's big, he's tall, and he's got that jump ball ability. I like A.D. Mitchell as a sleeper. My next guy up on that list is going to be my man, Junior. Baby, Junior Colson is incredible. This guy is, I think, one of the best linebackers in this draft. He has the ability to play sideline to sideline, coverage-wise, blitzing-wise, run-stopping. I think he can do it all. Now, he's going to have to find right place, right situation for himself at linebacker. He won't be a first-round pick. But this is the kind of guy that if you need a linebacker to fill in your Super Bowl winning team potentially, this is the kind of guy you like. I like Junior Colson a lot. For me, I think he's kind of like a bigger version of Bobby Wagner. Maybe if you want to put him up there, I think he's kind of Fred Warner if you want. It's a big comp, but it's a comp I think that is viable. Next guy on the list, TJ, baby. TJ. I like this kid a lot. This man, TJ Tampa, is an unknown name from Iowa State. Not many people know about him. Big, 6'2", 200 pounds, can tackle, can play the ball in the air. Not a ball hawk per se, not going to get a lot of interceptions, but he is a cornerback that I think can work from the nickel spot, working in the slot, eventually move himself to the outside and be like a solid number 2, maybe even become a number 1 cornerback. So any team out there that's looking to get some defensive backs, this is the kind of guy that you want. He is I think his technique is pretty damn near perfect. So I would like TJ Tampa to be my cornerback if I could. Luckily, and honestly, if I were the Bengals and you got a chance to take him, I would take him in a heartbeat. TJ Tampa, I think, is going to be one of those guys that can emerge as a star in the up-and-coming years. It's going to take a while, but he can be there. Next guy on my list is Jatavion Sanders. I'm big on this dude at tight end. He was special at Texas. Now, he didn't catch a lot of touchdown passes, but he moves the sticks. Third down, converting, big play over the middle. He's a tight end that is 6'4", 245, fast, flexible, can make the big catches in the air. The guy has the incredible ability, I believe, in an offense to be a number 2 tight end that can switch over to the number 1 tight end fairly quickly. He reminds me a lot of a bigger version of Delanie Walker. If you know Delanie Walker, he was a 6 foot, 240-pound tight end. This guy's got 4 inches on him. I think his hands might be a little bit bigger, and he's just as tough. And maybe even as fast, if not maybe faster. It's tough to tell. He looks like a wide receiver playing tight end. He reminds me, actually, you know what he reminds me of? Gerald Everett right now of the Bears. That's what this guy reminds me of. And there's a lot of teams that really like Gerald Everett. He's never been the premier tight end other than like a couple seasons. But I think Sanders can be that guy. And last on our list, because I want to give the local guy some love, and I think he will be special, Tyler Nubin, kid from Minnesota, the safety. Minnesota's pouring out some really talented guys. I think Nubin's a first-round pick. He may fall into the second round. But if you need a safety, this guy's a ball hawk. This guy can go get an interception. This guy will fight every single chance he gets to be able to be the number 1 player on that defense. He's smart. He's intelligent. He recognizes run, recognizes pass. He's reading the ball well in the air. Anthony Winfield Jr. is a good comp for him. He's a bigger version of him. I like Tyler Nubin a lot. I think he's going to be one of those guys that can come off the ground early and be that special player that can make an impact fairly quickly. I think he's a guy, I'll be honest, I think he's a guy who can maybe even challenge for the opportunity to be a defensive player of the year. That's what I think about him for sure. Listen, when it comes to the sleepers, there's a lot of honorable mentions that I could throw in there, but we don't have that kind of time. And I'm honestly, we're going to spend a lot more time talking about the draft here, folks. We got a lot more to do because we got, the draft this Thursday, April 25th, 6 o'clock p.m., Be there. Watch us live. We want you guys to be a part of it. Dave and Buster's in Rosemont, Illinois, again, 6 o'clock p.m. We want you guys to be able to experience it with us on the live stream, in person. We're going to have raffles. We're going to have guests. We're going to have OGs coming back. We're going to have a lot of fun, folks. And also, too, while you're there, make sure to give some love to the people in the back as well, because they're going to be working very hard to make sure this show goes well. And, I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to say thank you, but I'm going to make sure to say thank you enough times. And I hope you guys will give them a round of applause as well for the work that they're going to be able to do and have been doing for us as well, as I should be noting. So thank you to all of you in the back, of course, even though there's only one of you today. So thank you. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. When we do come back, NBA playoffs, we're going to quickly discuss it. What's been happening so far lately, the ups, the downs, the disappointments, the intriguing, that's all coming up next here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
The Chicagoland area has a large number of lonely dogs currently filling shelter pens, just waiting to find a family. Nothing adds warmth to a home like a wagging tail and a warm pair of brown eyes. If you are considering adding a dog to your household, visit the Anderson Animal Shelter, where adoption counselors can assist you in selecting your new best friend. Make your house a home. Adopt a shelter dog. To see a current list of adoptees, visit their website at www.andersonanimalshelter.org or meet them in person at 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin. Don't have room in the home for a new furry family member? Donations of toys, collars, and soft or hard non-perishable dog food are always accepted and are greatly appreciated. All animals are spayed or neutered and are waiting with tails wagging to find a loving home. Visit 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin or www.andersonanimalshelter.org for more details.
Hey, watch your mouth. Why? I'll just put a quarter in the swear jar. Once it's filled, we get a Coors party after work.
I've been drinking Coors since my college days. Cold draft taste, second to none.
Yeah, worth the recorder, am I right?
You know it, mother.
Hey, you get those reports done?
Yeah.
No. You, sir.
Attention, employees.
The staff meeting, scheduled for this evening, will now be held tomorrow early as
Who's all? Dudes, we're only 75 cents short. Oh, shh. Where's the boss?
Hey, sir, go yourself. You're fired!
If you want to follow me anymore, you can always find me as well. I'm at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter. That is the name. I'm also at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram as well, if you want to see all the dumb pictures I take as well. You can also find me on Snapchat too if you want to. I've been posting there more lately as well. I'm trying to do more of the social media kind of billowing out, if you will. But also, too, as well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to follow us on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on our Instagrams at XBomb Sports and Twitter as well. We're going to be putting out more news. The shows are going out there as well, so be on the lookout for that kind of stuff in the stream. And the Facebook, too. I got the Facebook back after they kicked me off. But we're not streaming on Facebook anymore because it's why we were kicked off. But we've got it back, so be on the lookout for that. We'll give you guys more updates as we have a chance to. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we got some more sports to talk. We just got done talking about the NFL draft. Again, upcoming draft, April 25th, the show. Dave and Buster's, Rosemont, Illinois, 6 o'clock p.m. Be there, be square. Or be there for the stream. Again, be there, be square. But let's move into the next one because we got the NBA playoffs. And I'm going to kick this one off and start it off with, if you will, the young guns of this, because the playoffs have certainly been very interesting. I'm loving the games that I'm watching, and I was not sure what these games were going to look like for the first time in the playoffs, but we have two teams who are relatively fairly young and yet intriguing for this one, and it was the Timberwolves and the Thunder, right? The Timberwolves definitely came out on top and showed basically that I think they're ready to start making a push, right? Minnesota came out against the Phoenix Suns and won 120-95. I mean, a dominant performance by Anthony Edwards, who I will say really outstanding job outplaying guys like Devin Booker and even Kevin Durant. I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw from Anthony Edwards. This is a guy who I think can be a face of the league. I think a guy who can carry the league, who can be that next guy up that can be the star, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that I think can be the star, but you name guys like Jokic and Giannis and Doncic and or Luka and even Victor Wembanyama. These are all guys who I think can be faces of the league, but everybody looks at them and says, well, the European players, they're a little bit more subtle, they're a little bit more quiet, they're not very vocal. Although I will say Luka's pretty vocal. And Victor Wembanyama is just, he's 7'4" and so long, and he looks like he's not from this planet, which is why his logo for Nike is apparently an alien, and totally makes sense. The guy's from out of this world. But Anthony Edwards is the perfect guy to sell to the American market, and he has done a tremendous job, I believe, with what he's with the Timberwolves, and he's become the marquee player for not just that team, but one of the marquee players, I believe, rising up the star ladder for the NBA. A guy that can possibly be the face over LeBron and Steph when they eventually do retire, because those guys are going to be the face as long as they're in the league, right, and playing well, and they're both still playing fairly well, even at this older age. But Anthony Edwards is a young guy who's got the energy, he's got the talent, he pops out of the gym. He's the kind of player that people are looking at right now and saying, I want to be like him, right? He talks the trash, he makes the plays, he dunks the ball, he does a lot of different things incredibly well, and he keeps refining his game. I like that a lot. But on top of that, too, you have the Thunder, who are the youngest team in the league. They're averaging like 24 years old or something like that. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who wasn't even drafted by this team, by the way. He was a part of the sacrifice the Clippers made to get Paul George. Remember that. First-round pick out of Kentucky. Canadian kid. Traded away after 1 year with the Clippers for Paul George because the Clippers said, hey, we're going to get better for doing this. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has just gotten better, and better. And now we're looking at SGA and we're saying, I mean, this guy should be like a top 5, maybe even a top 3 finalist for MVP this year. With the way that he's led that Oklahoma City Thunder team. Again, they're kids. They're basically kids. They're young dudes just right out of college. And him being like 25, 26 himself, leading the charge. I mean, if I were to tell you a 26-year-old young man is leading a group of 19 to 22-year-olds to success, I think most of us would have assumed, oh, what TikTok does he have? What brand, what YouTube channel is he running that he's unboxing things? And, like, I know, topical, right? I sound old. I really do. Just put me in a nursing home, God. But, if I told you that, you wouldn't probably believe it's a basketball team. Because, no, you need guys who are veterans. You need guys who have been in the league for a long time to win a championship. Do you? Or can a young guy come out of nowhere and possibly be the best star? That's the thing about these two. Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, young guys leading a group of young players, which, I mean, the Timberwolves aren't necessarily very young, but it's the fact that it's Edwards that's kind of taking charge as the youngest of the stars between himself, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert that's leading this, what looks to be a great playoff run for them. It looks like it's going to be a solid opportunity for them for sure. Now, outside of the young, let's talk about a little bit of the old, because I kind of mentioned these guys, right? LeBron James and and Steph Curry, right? The Lakers and the Warriors. The Warriors got bounced early in the play-in tournament. They lost to the Kings. It was not a pretty picture. It was not a good look for them, obviously. There's a lot of people that were not very certain about where the Lakers are, what the Lakers were doing, how they were competing and everything. And for the Warriors, there was a lot of questions about, well, is everybody healthy? Can everybody play to a certain level? There was a lot of that kind of talk going on. The interesting thing, though, is that I think this is where the Warriors are starting to end, right? All dynasties eventually come to an end. This is one of those that I think is coming to an end here. They're just older. Their guys are getting, they're not playing maybe to par in the playoffs. I would still keep that core together for the most part, and I would keep those young guys because you need those younger guys to help you win in the regular season. It's in the playoffs that those older guys need to be rested and ready to go. MVPs and all those awards shouldn't mean a thing to any of them anymore. This is about securing your legacy to be champions, which they already have, but you want to be even better champions. You want to win more titles. This is your shot. If not, it's time to start breaking the team apart and start dispersing and start looking for other opportunities elsewhere. For the Lakers, it's just a matter of how much longer can LeBron James go. He played well, and Anthony Davis played pretty good too, but for the rest of the team, they just don't have enough firepower. I mean, LeBron looked more of his age. He looked tired. He looked a little slow. He looked like a guy that might be worn out after years of playing the NBA. I mean, should we be shocked? I mean, look, you get tired over time. I'm tired right now. Okay, I'm on very little sleep, and I'm nowhere near the physicality of what they're doing. Like, the most physical I ever get is I have to carry a client out and throw them into my car because they have lost the use and function of their legs. Something like that. I mean, other than that, I don't know exactly what solves the issue for these two teams, other than you just got to start drafting for the younger players. You got to start moving forward with the new generation of athletes that are up and coming. And then last, for the NBA playoffs, I got to say, the games that I just mentioned, there's some intriguing ones, but there's ones that just aren't really captivating me. The ones that are captivating me are the ones that I felt like certainly would be. The first one is going to be the Knicks matchup right now with the 76ers. I thought the 76ers were going to get the easy kind of like a nice easy win to start this thing off. What I've come to find myself noting right now is that, no, the Knicks are here to play. And Tom Thibodeau is not going to lay down. He's going to come at it, and he's going to come hard for, I want to win. I want to beat the 76ers. I want to be a champion. I like the Knicks in this matchup still. Because Joel Embiid, I mean, playing well, playing strong. Tyrese Maxey, though, taking the charge. And look, I mean, even their best player for the Knicks, right? It wasn't even him that was making all the noise. It was Josh Hart. Brunson had his moment, but Hart was the one that really stepped up and made a lot of plays for them. 13 rebounds. I mean, the guy plays guard, for crying out loud, right? How does he? I mean, he out-rebound Joel Embiid. That guy's 7 feet tall. That says something for the Knicks. But on the other side of this, on the western side, you've got the Clippers. You got the Clippers, and they are taking on, I mean, they're a team that right now are going into the Western Conference, and I think there's a lot of people that are not sure how their matchup with the Mavericks is going to play out, because Luka looks like he's going to be at least runner-up for the MVP. Probably should win MVP, but even after Luka has an MVP performance, James Harden goes out there and looks like the old self, scoring 28 points, got 8 assists, looked like the guy that could run the floor. He looked like his old self because the pressure's off of him. Even though they didn't have Kawhi Leonard, they still win this thing 109-97. They still looked like a solid group across the board. For me, looking at those two, these are the two most intriguing matchups because This is a Knicks team that has had injuries but made enough trades and enough moves that I think they can put themselves in the conversation for competing in the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe. I mean, if they match up against the Celtics, I still think the Celtics blow them out. But them versus the Knicks, I think is going to be a compelling battle if they make the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, let's be honest. If they make it out against the 76ers and they're playing the Pacers, which the Pacers lost to the Bucks, right? But if that's the whole rivalry of Hicks versus Knicks. That's an old rivalry from the 90s that I think people want to see brought back to life. Tyrese Halliburton versus Jalen Brunson. Who wouldn't love that? That's great. That's an awesome matchup. I would be so ecstatic to see that. That'd be awesome. And the Knicks look like they're kind of rolling in that direction. Meanwhile, I thought the Mavericks were going to upset the Clippers because the Clippers always find a way to fall out. And listen, it's only game one. But Los Angeles looked good. They look like a pro team. They look like themselves. They had their stars step up, and everybody made plays where they needed to. Everybody did their job, and they rolled through. They rolled through Dallas. Will they continue to do that? That's going to be a big question. But right now, where they stand, I like where they're at. I like where the NBA playoffs are at right now because ultimately, I think what we're seeing right now is we're seeing some really good components coming out of this that are making the NBA playoffs worthwhile to watch, right? You're seeing the matchups here. I mean, even the ones we haven't mentioned, right? Celtics and Heat. It's kind of like a little bit of a rivalry that's been happening lately, right? Bucks and Pacers. That's a Central Division rivalry between two teams that have extremely good players where it was this game it was Siakam versus Lillard basically going one-on-one, right? That's how that matchup was playing. I mean, you look across the NBA playoffs right now, there's some good matchups here. There's some teams that I think are going to surprise us as far as how good they're going to be long-term making their run. And beyond that, right? The Magic right now have lost to Cleveland. I think they'll probably get maybe a 4-game blowout. If not, they'll have 5-game sweep. You know, whatever you call it, the gentleman's sweep against the Magic. The Cavaliers will take it. But the Magic are an up-and-coming young team that are only going to manage to get better and continue to grow and continue to be that unit that can ultimately keep going forward and keep doing great things, right? You wonder, though, I mean, you know, the Nuggets beating the Lakers, the Nuggets are the reigning champs. We're not surprised by that, of course. The surprise is that obviously the Lakers even were able to score 100 points, I think, in this thing, you know. Ultimately, Denver, they looked as sharp as ever, so they're going to be a challenge still in the West no matter what. You know, I mean, and then you have, obviously, give it to the Pelicans. They kept it as a close one. They don't have Zion Williamson, and they still kept the game close against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they're an experienced team with experienced players themselves, but the Thunder, who are so young, they went back and forth, and that was good basketball. And that's the thing. This is an NBA playoffs where you're seeing, I think, really good basketball being played. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to see your ups and downs. You're going to see those. But the star players are the ones that are making it count worthwhile, right? And occasionally you have a guy that'll probably hop off the bench or come and be a role player, and then he'll have like 30 points, and he's going to be that star for the game. And that's what these playoffs feel like. Anybody at any time can be the one. You're looking to the stars to be the one to help you rise to the occasion, to make this game compelling. But it's the other guys as well that are going to help push the envelope and make these such good games. I don't think we'll keep seeing blowouts. I think we're going to see a lot more tightness to these games. And honestly, I'm all for it. I just want to see good matchups. And I think you've got some really great matchups going in here. I think down the line you're going to see even better matchups. So long as those teams that are supposed to win, quote-unquote supposed to win, actually do win, we're going to be fine. These are going to be good. From what I understand, ratings have been actually pretty solid so far. There's no real drop-off on this. These are compelling matchups that people want to watch. And I want to watch them too. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. We'll see. We will see. But, folks, that's going to do it for the NBA talk. When we come back here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to answer some quick fan questions for you because we got a couple that I really wanted to get to from some people to say. But, yes, fan questions, those are coming up next here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
The Chicagoland area has a large number of lonely dogs currently filling shelter pens, just waiting to find a family. Nothing adds warmth to a home like a wagging tail and a warm pair of brown eyes. If you are considering adding a dog to your household, visit the Anderson Animal Shelter, where adoption counselors can assist you in selecting your new best friend. Make your house a home. Adopt a shelter dog. To see a current list of adoptees, visit their website at www.andersonanimalshelter.org or meet them in person at 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin. Don't have room in the home for a new furry family member? Donations of toys, collars, and soft or hard non-perishable dog food are always accepted and are greatly appreciated. All animals are spayed or neutered and are waiting with tails wagging to find a loving home. Visit 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin or www.andersonanimalshelter.org for more details.
Hey, watch your mouth. Why? I'll just put a quarter in the swear jar. Once it's filled, we get a Coors party after work.
I've been drinking Coors since my college days. The cold draft taste is second to none.
Yeah, worth the recorder, am I right?
You know it, mother.
Hey, get those sports done?
Yeah. No.
You, sir.
Attention, employees.
The staff meeting, scheduled for this evening, will now be held tomorrow early as
Who's all? Dudes, we're only 75 cents short. Oh, shh. Where's the boss?
Hey, sir. Go yourself.
You're fired!
And welcome back, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm still Andrew Valentin. I hope you all enjoyed that last segment. I hope you all have enjoyed the show so far. We just got done talking about the NFL draft at the beginning. We definitely were talking about the NBA playoffs in that second segment, just to kind of note for that. But it's okay. It's all right. It's been a good show, and we're gonna end this off with some fan questions as we usually do. We want to say, of course, thank you to all our wonderful fans. If you have any questions, though, please send it to us. That is at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. We want to always be able to hear the questions that you guys have for us. We do appreciate it. We do love it when you guys are able to send us the questions, when you guys are able to give us some good comments, things like that. And, for better, for worse, good or bad, doesn't matter. I take any and all questions. I answer as many as I can. The nastier ones, the ones that are a little bit more rude, and the ones that are certainly far more insulting, maybe don't always get answered as much, maybe go into a spam folder. But, hey, you know what? That's what this is all about. I am more than happy to take on whatever it is you guys want to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into these questions. And then we will get out of here because I'm sure we're all very busy in this room. So we all have some things we have to do. And also, I'm kicked on coffee right now. Like, it is finally hitting me at the wrong time, too. Like, I don't know why. This is hitting me now in the middle of the day. I don't know why. My body's weird, if you can't tell. All right. So this one comes from... this one's coming from Adam. Adam is from right here in Waukegan. Well, right here. He's in Waukegan, here in Illinois. He asked us the question. He said, I'm a big college sports fan. My father actually went to Duke, so we grew up as Duke fans, and I have become concerned with the constant transfer portal guys that are leaving Duke. I've also seen the story of the Colorado players. It is, I believe, 14 players that are leaving. My question to you, Andrew, is do you think that the transfer portal is affecting players' mindsets? And when I say this, I mean, do you think that college athletes, not just football players and basketball players, but college athletes are being affected, are having their minds affected by the transfer portal being a free go anywhere you want situation? Okay, sorry, I was trying to read that. Adam, thank you for the question. We appreciate it as always. You know, I think about this kind of in terms of like us being normal students and people, if you will, right? Like, okay, there's not a bunch of people in this room by any means, but I think for the two of us that are in this room, you know, we went to colleges that were that 4-year university. Yes, boo. Well, it sounds like you had a lot more fun than I did. That's for the Aftershock podcast where we can get more talkative about our personal stuff if you want. Which at some point I'm planning on getting that going. It's just a matter of timing and everything. So I will let you guys know about that. But you know, one of us in this, there are two people in this room, myself and Antonia. You went to a 4-year university and you got your degree. I went to a 4-year university and I got kicked out of college. So, yeah, exactly. So, different experiences completely. Nevertheless, I think we can both say we went to there because that was the expected idea, right? You're going to go to a 4-year university, you're going to get your degree, you're going to go and then take that degree and go get a job, and off in the world you go, right? And I don't know, I feel like for me, that wasn't really the direction I was going to probably take. I don't believe in destiny and stuff. I believe people more so create their own destiny, you know. And I've also been a big believer on, you know, I think people do have regrets, but it's a matter of learn from your regrets. And I think it's one of those things that I do regret going to the first university I went to because I went there for the wrong reasons. I went there to go play football more than anything. I didn't go there for an education. And I went there and I went, oh, church 3 times a week? Oh, there's a lot of prayer going. Oh, I am not set for the Catholic or Christian culture. The evangelical Christian culture did not fit me at all. If I was still there, I'd probably be in the loony bin. I probably would. Not saying anything against religion. I'm just saying that experience would have probably driven me crazy. It just did not fit me at all. And I think for a lot of these college kids, athletes especially, you're looking for right place, right opportunity, right? I mean, I went to a junior college for a while, and then I found this school here, Illinois Media School, and it's been a great opportunity. I'm sure, Antonia, you would probably say the same thing, correct? Yeah, exactly. Much better opportunity, better vibe, whatever you want to call it. We found a place for ourselves, as everybody else that's associated with this show that's not here, I'm sure can say the same thing, because we've said this before on the show. Coming here for many of us has been one of the best decisions we've ever made. That's just not a promo for this place. That's a legit, like, we believe that. Like, I don't come here, I'm probably working at like a Ruby Tuesdays, or do those even exist anymore? They maybe not. Chili's, that's a thing, right? Chili's is still a thing. Okay. So I'd probably be working at like a Chili's, or maybe at like Burger King. I mean, I might be working where I'm at right now. I don't know. I'm only doing this because I need to pay the bills. Once I get a job in the industry, or this thing gets the $100 million investment it needs, then I'm done with that place. We're both quitting our jobs. Everybody's quitting their jobs that they currently have, and we're all doing this forever. So that's the plan. That's the hopeful plan. But I honestly think I don't think the transfer portal is changing their mentalities necessarily. I think you go in with whatever mentality you have on, I want a better experience. I want a chance to start. Maybe you do want a chance to make more money, right? There are now different parts to how an athlete needs to think about the future of what they do for college and where they go, right? Because you could go to the big university like Alabama and you can get $1 million in NIL money, but you may not start, right? So you'll get paid, but you won't start. Now, I would assume you get paid that much money, you will start. But if you, let's say that you would get like $500,000, but you don't start right away, you're playing sparingly. Well, maybe you want the opportunity to play. So take less money on the NIL, go to a smaller school, be the king of the campus. Now you may actually turn out to be a really good draft pick. I think yes, in a way, the transfer portal could be changing their mentality. But I think every kid is going into school. Remember, you're 17, 18 years old, and you're told, hey, make a decision on what will impact you for the rest of your life, right? Or so they say. It's not an easy decision. That's not an easy decision to make, you know? And especially when, and now put that on the broad horizon that you're a top player in the country who has every choice in America to go to. You can go to any school you want. Is that an easy decision to make? You may not feel confident with your first decision than you do your second. That's why kids move. That's why kids transfer. That's why kids eventually say, you know what, I'm going to leave school. You don't like the environment. You don't like what you're learning. You're not necessarily in love with the culture you're in. Maybe you don't like the place you're at. Maybe you're in middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. Or for me, I was in, what do you want to call it? Chapel Central, Illinois. I don't know. It really wasn't like that. It wasn't that biblical in Buffalo Grove. It was just, that whole place just felt like you walk through and it's like, oh, I've been dunked in the fictional bathwater that's surrounding us. I don't know. It was a weird experience. But that's the thing, is like, it was a weird experience for me. It didn't really fit me. I knew I was not going to be able to survive there, so I left. And for these guys, you got to do that for yourself, right? Do you fit with them? No? Then leave. Go somewhere else. It's okay. Find a place that fits you. That's just life lesson for everybody. Find a place that fits for you. School, job, whatever it is. I mean, job's a little bit harder, but, you know, you want to find a spot that you're going to feel comfortable at. You want to find a place that you're going to feel good at. You're going to be able to make friends at. You're going to, you know, have a life experience at that you're going to enjoy. Because the last thing you want to do is say, I went to school for 4 years, or I went to school for 8 years, and now I'm miserable and in debt. Nobody wants that. So, my thoughts are, do I think it's changing players' mindsets? Yes, but I think it might not necessarily be for the worst. I think it might be changing their mindsets for the better, because maybe some of them are not happy where they're at. And that's a good thing. You're not happy where you are? Think about maybe moving. Just food for thought. Food for thought. I mean, look, I love this state with all my heart. But if you told me right now I had a chance to go to Florida or California, it'd be hard to leave, but if the money's right, I mean, it doesn't snow there. If I could go to Puerto Rico permanently, I probably would. That's one of my homes away from home. Living on a beach, drinking beer all day. I don't know how to fish, but I'd probably learn how to fish. I'd get a dog, too. I don't have a pet. I'd probably get a dog. I don't know what kind, but, you know, that's the far distant dream when I'm like 95 years old, and it's like, yeah, sun's going down, so. I don't know where that was going. I hope I answered your Adam. I hope I answered your question, Adam. Not your. I hope I answered your Adam question. Sorry. It's Monday. All right. Last question, and then we're gonna get out of here. This question, it's not really a question. This thing came in. This was a narrative. Why I got an essay why I get essay emails sometimes, I don't know why, but occasionally I do. This came from Johnny. Johnny's from Atlanta, Georgia, and Johnny asked us about the WNBA stuff. He didn't really ask us, but he gave me this whole spiel about how, because of what we've been talking about with the WNBA and the young women that are going into the WNBA and how I've been saying that I think they're going to help prop the WNBA up to a new level. He basically came back and was counter-firing. I'm not assuming anything about this guy, but he basically was saying, like, it's ridiculous to think that the WNBA is going to be far more important than any other big sport out there, that they're going to get any bigger, that they're going to make a difference. So I took away from it that I think he's trying to convey to me a question of, if I believe that this is a group of women coming into the WNBA, the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Camila Cardozo, Camilla Brink, all of these young women that have now come into the WNBA that got drafted this last week, do I believe that these are the women that are going to make a giant difference to the WNBA, make the league that much better, make it more compelling? Yes! That's a stupid question to ask. Yes. Here's what I'm going to get to. So if you want to get real with it, it's an uphill battle, right? Let's not deny that. Like, unfortunately, WNBA is not going to it's not going to be looked at on the premier level as the men's sports. Is that a shame? Absolutely. But it does come down to the advertisement, the business, the brands, and all that stuff that support those leagues are the ones that push them. And, of course, the TV deals as well. It's a sad truth of the business and the reality of professional sports. The WNBA doesn't have all those big brands and TV deals like the others do. Therefore, they don't take priority over the men's sports. However, this is a group of women that I think can help bring the WNBA to a new light. Not necessarily are they going to overshadow men's professional sports on basketball, football, anything like that. But this is where if they want to have their own lucrative deal potentially with some streaming services like Amazon Prime or Netflix even, because Netflix is starting to get into that game as well. Keep that in mind. They did the deal with the WWE. There's also Max. There's also Hulu. If they want to start making more deals with these streaming services to be more lucrative and have an opportunity for them to make money because they see a chance for them to make money because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Camilla Brink and Paige Beckers, when she gets in, they're all going to be very popular individuals to help propel the game to the next level, then that's what you want to do, and that should be the aim, right? Let me tell you this right now. Sorry, I'm furious. I know, I threw the paper on the ground. Jeez. The Indiana Pacers, why did I say Pacers? The Indiana Fever have drafted Caitlin Clark. Do you know what the Chicago Sky did? The Sky drafted Camila Cardozo at 3 and Angel Clark at 7. Do you know what that means? Two I can't say this word. Two states that rival each other. There we go. Indiana and Illinois, right? Next door neighbors. The Fever and the Sky, who have an unknown rivalry between the two of them, if you will, now have every reason to push the envelope of a narrative of this is the game to watch. Because Caitlin Clark is the star that is going to set the league on fire, supposedly. But she is also the one who lost to the Sky's Angel Reese 2 years ago. LSU beat Iowa. And then this year, Camila Cardozo in South Carolina beat Iowa. So there's a narrative almost to a WWE wrestling style of she lost to them both. But she's beat them both. But they're the champions and she's not. So how do you build? This is where you build that story and you market that. And that's where you start to see, I think, a growth. Yes, the other games, the LA Sparks versus New York Liberty might be the only other compelling matchup you watch because it's LA versus New York. It's Ionescu versus Brink and Jackson. It's going to be a shoot-off there. But this Sky versus Fever, Caitlin Clark versus our Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo, it's the two sides. One is the Windy City, Chicago Sky. The other is farm town Indianapolis, Indiana Fever, right? They're not really farm town, but it's Indiana. There's nothing but flat land there, just like Oklahoma. Okay? It's such a long state. I hate driving through it. And I don't hate the state. I hate driving through it. But it's a natural rivalry that you should be putting on poster boards. You should be promoting it on you should be promoting it on social media right now. That's how you get the WNBA to the next level. Yes, Johnny, and anybody else who doubts them, because I've seen the post, I've seen the talk. There are going to be some hardships that they're going to have to go through as a league again, because unfortunately the value that we've put on the WNBA is not there yet. But this could be the opportunity that you can take it to that level. These are the young women that can do that. And then the next group that comes after them, and the next group, and there is a flood of young women coming through college basketball that are going to do this. And really what it can do for women's sports in general can be astronomical. But it is going to take some time. They are in like year 30, 31 of the league being alive. They still have a ways to go. Ask me in 20 years where the league's at. Hell, ask me in 5 years where the league's at. Because Caitlin Clark's going to have that level of popularity to help carry this thing a lot, I think. But as long as the rest of these women can also establish themselves, which they have, as brands, as notoriety, they've done all these different things from modeling to makeup to all these different types of things, clothing lines, like they've got all this stuff going for themselves now. This is where you take those opportunities, you build off of them, and you market them properly. The WNBA will take off. But it's the WNBA that has to do the right thing and do the marketing work. It can't just be the players. They can do their part, but the league itself has to help them along the way. That's one of my biggest fears is I don't know if the WNBA is going to help them get to that level. I want to see it, though, and I think it can happen. I mean, they're too good to just pass up on. They're too good to – I'll tell you this. I'll go see the Sky and the Fever play a basketball game. I'm more than compelled to go see a game. Not every time they're in town. I'm not going to be a season ticket holder by any means, but I'll probably watch them on TV if the game's on TV. I'll probably watch them in person if I can get tickets to go to their games. I don't see where we can't find a path to where women's sports can continue to elevate, and I think the WNBA can be a big part of that. That's just me, though. That's just me. This show has always been a big supporter for hashtag more women's sports. We've started that hashtag. We want to see more of it. We want to see more build-up. And a lot of you guys have agreed with that. Some have obviously argued against it. I'm not assuming anything on anybody. That is your opinion, obviously. But at the end of the day, I want to see this game continue to grow on the women's side. From the college level to the high school level. The number of times I've been able to do highlight videos for, I've got one right now who she's so excited because she's getting her first offers from D1. I am so excited to see her opportunities because these are schools that probably wouldn't even give her the opportunity unless the game was growing more. And I'm excited to see that. And I'm happy she's got that. Congratulations again on your offer too, by the way. I'm very excited for that. We're going to get you to college. Just again, like we said before, make sure it's the right college for you. But you can always transfer if you want to, of course. But thank you, Johnny, for your... Again, you didn't ask a question. You just sent me a narrative paper. By the way, you have a lot of grammar choices that were wrong, my friend. If I had red ink, it'd be marked all over it, okay? C- is what I would give you. Like, you still get a passing grade because you had, like, information. Just no, man. Come on. Can't even indent properly. Come on, what'd you learn in school? Unbelievable. All right. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Thank you so much for watching and listening because that's going to do it for our show here, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Real quick, April 25th, this Thursday, once again, we are going live. X-Bomb Sports, Blow the Whistle, Fitz and Combs, or Combs and Fitz, and No Substitute for Sports. We are going live in Rosemont, Illinois, Dave & Buster's, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We are covering the entire first round of the draft. Come and join us. Have some food, have some drinks, play some games. Bring the family. We're going to have a raffle. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot of emotions. And maybe that's just because of the coffee that is running through my blood right now. My God. I am really, I feel like I'm shaking right now. But I am excited for this. I can't wait. I think we're all very excited for this opportunity. We want to say thank you guys again so much for making this possible because we couldn't do this without you guys. You guys are the awesome fans that make this possible. And, of course, to the crew as well. I know, again, not the whole crew is here. We just have the one member of the crew. But from this to this one crew member who is very important to us, and the rest of who are not here. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do. It means a lot. It really does. Guys, also too, real quick, make sure to go check out the guys from Blow the Whistle. We're going to be on again at 2 o'clock today. We're going to be talking more of the draft for the NFL. You can also check out No Substitute for Sports as well, Nick's show, and Combs and Fitz, and also Combs and Johnston as well for Nick Johnson and Brandon Combs show. Ryan Fitzgibbons and Brandon Combs do Combs and Fitz. They do it on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. They do it on multiple platforms. You can find it all over. Please make sure to go check that out. Also, too, make sure to go check out Tony Smalls x Big J. We finally streamed after being off for a while. It was a fun episode, I gotta say. From my perspective, it was a fun episode. I don't know if they had as much fun because they were scared, but I thought it was fun. It's just we need somebody to stop hiding behind her fingers. It's cheating. Let us know, folks. Do you think hiding behind and looking between your fingers is that cheating or not cheating on the stream? I want to know. I want comments. I want emails. So then this way we can confirm whether or not that is cheating or not. Well, she says it's not, and I you know what? I'm not even gonna argue against her because I don't even want to know what would happen if I went against. I don't want to. Not bad things. Well, I might get tied to an electric fence. I'm joking. Please. Exactly. Don't do that. I don't need that. But definitely go check it out, guys. We're back on streaming. We're going to be continuing to stream this very scary game. We're a little more than we're getting to the halfway point of that game, so stay with us. We got a lot more. There's a lot more scares coming their way. That's all I can say. I'm not giving any more away because they're going to get spooked more. I'm intrigued to see what happens. But other than that, guys, follow us, YouTube, Twitch, youtube.com/TeamXBombSports, twitch.tv/XBombSports. Follow us on our Facebook site, facebook.com/XBombSports. All the social media, that's at XBombSports on Twitter and on Instagram, where you can see all the updates. And, of course, questions or comments, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. Send us in and let us know what questions you want asked on April 25th as well for the draft show. I will have them open on the email. We can answer your questions as well. We'll have write-ins for those that come live. You can type them into the chat as we are live. You can even type them in on chat if you're live with us there at Rosemont if you want to. But email us your questions if you're not going to be able to watch or you can't come. We want to hear from you guys. We want your questions. We want your comments. Please make yourself be a part of this because you guys have been a big reason why this is possible. Please be a big, we got some great guests. We got Ernie Scatton coming in. We've got Tony Lopez. We've got great people that are going to be a part of this thing that we're going to be able to interview. Again, we got raffles. We got a Lance Briggs jersey. We got a Dit Butkus signed helmet, a Dante Culpepper helmet. We've got tickets for the dogs that are going to be on the line as well. Some Chicago Dogs gear as well. So if you guys want to come in live in person, it's only a live person raffle if you want. Buy those tickets and let's have a chance. Let's have some fun. I'm excited for this. I'm super excited. And I think that's going to do it for us as well here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. We will be back here on the radio here at 2 o'clock. I'm zapped right now, just full of like espresso. We will be back at 2 o'clock with Blow the Whistle on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy. Be sure to catch us. We're going to be talking more on the draft and everything, just doing a final recap as we get ready to do the final push for the draft. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, again, we appreciate you. We love you. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.
The Chicagoland area has a large number of lonely dogs currently filling shelter pens,
DDR1.
just waiting to find a family.